Mamalu.
Oi, what you say?
Hey girl, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. You look very beautiful this morning, yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
As usual.
Doing some labor here, you know.
So wait a minute, what's all of this stuff here now?
What you mean, you know this is shrimp, boy?
Wait, sir. Shrimp.
Neil,
Southwest Adventures?
Southwest Adventures, when he came up to visit, brought shrimps for us. So I just put it in a deep freezer.
Mm-hmm.
And now I am cleaning it. I'm separating small from big because the shrimping season just started around February, March area there. And it soon will be going out of season.
Mm-hmm.
So initially you get small shrimp and then you get some medium size. And I want to feel at this time you'll be getting bigger ones.
Okay. But you might soil and pretty juicy way in there, girl.
Nah man, I'm a professional at cleaning shrimps, you know. I cleaning shrimp since I was a little girl, you know. I cleaning shrimp since I'm a little girl.
Mm.
And you like to clean it because you like to eat it.
And here now, this reminds me of the days in the carcass used to make shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, boy.
I see you have some glasses out there, but you plan to give me some of it.
Well, boy, you can't clean shrimps and then give yourself a little treat.
That is
That is the
correct.
tradition. When after you clean shrimps, you going now, you must pinch a little handful
Yes.
to make a little cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you know what? You can't take too much, huh? Because it's plenty people to eat the shrimps. So if you get too many, but you have to take a little pinch to make a little cocktail, boy, Frankie and I, you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But who in your family is to be catching the shrimp?
huh?
Who in your family catching shrimp?
No, my mother,
Mm.
she used to go in the night to what you call pick shrimp.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know what pick shrimp is, not picking it off a tree, eh? Yes, so as kids, we would go down on a Friday night on the beach to see what it is to pick shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in those days, Lancy, to tell you the truth, in those days, when shrimp pulling, it's thousands of pounds, you know.
Yeah.
No exaggeration.
Not like today,
And,
eh?
and 5, 6 different boats coming in and shrimp high, so you know.
Okay, joke.
Yeah.
On the sand and
Well, I
on
don't
the
know
beach.
if as a little girl it looked like that high to me, but I remember. And I don't know whether you know, but when one of the things in cleaning shrimp, you're supposed to cut the back of the shrimp
But you know how many times I put shrimp in my mouth and just eat it?
raw
Yeah.
on the beach.
Ah.
Yeah. So there's this supposed to be the back of the shrimp is like the intestines. So you see this little black stuff there? Look at that.
Right.
So really and truly, growing up and knowing about shrimp, you never finish cleaning the shrimp until you cut the back.
Mm-mm.
And it's very time consuming.
No wonder shrimp, when anything like roti and whatever, costs so much in even a Chinese restaurant, eh?
Well, it is an expensive thing too.
Yeah.
But to tell you the truth, I don't think that in these restaurants they really do all of this, you know.
Well, we must ask them the next time, right?
No, you will know.
How you know?
Okay, this is a shrimp that is not cut,
Okay.
to take out the back. And this is a shrimp that the back has been cut.
Right.
So when this cook now, you will see the shrimp like a nice cut to the back.
Okay.
Whereas
So
if it's not, it will look like this.
it'll look whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have to ask them if they cut the shrimps.
But you ever observe that in any Chinese restaurant you've been to?
Yeah.
Or in any delicacy?
Some
with
places they cut it,
shrimp?
but not all. Not
Okay.
all.
But it wouldn't hurt to eat it, would it?
Well, if you don't know what hard to see, I don't grieve. If you don't know it.
What
if
I
you-
don't see, hard to grieve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
according to the old people. So if you don't know, you figure out how to clean shrimp. when you buy it, you just take off the shell.
Yeah.
But as kids growing up, we had to take out, and really, when you really see what comes out, you wouldn't want to know you're eating that.
So you're planning to do some shrimp cocktail?
Well, I done put, you asking answers or what? I done put a little few, but I did it just the same way, the traditional way. You just back squeeze a few.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know when you're doing something, you kind of do it in the same vein for memory's sake, eh?
Right.
Because that's how you did it as a child.
Yeah, man, I look forward to that.
You pinch a little shrimp and you put some ketchup and some lime and some pepper sauce and a little oyster sauce. I don't even know if in them days when we used to do it, if we had oyster sauce.
Probably a little salt and a little
Yeah,
pepper.
black pepper and,
Yeah.
spruce it up.
Yeah,
And
you don't miss at all anything.
You don't miss anything, man. You feel, well, it was worth cleaning shrimps because perks in the works.
Lou, this morning I got up, and I said to myself, and I guess you had the same thought too because you expressed it. Boy, if we could only get some Sabrio mangoes because Shanta and Tony come in today.
Yeah, boy.
And I said, boy, we don't have any because the last 4 in the fridge
Was eaten. And I was like, oh my goodness, I left that for Shanta.
Right. So I walked outside to do something, opened the gate, and the neighbor Angela was passing. And I said, Angela, I wanted to see you. And she just reached out and handed me a bag full of Sabrio mango. And in the midst of it all, here is a beautiful Julie mango.
Yeah, boy, I have been eyeing those Julie mango from the porch,
yes,
eh?
yeah.
And they're so pretty and red, like if it's rose mango on the tree, man. Rosy.
Yeah,
And they're so, gosh, boy, those mangoes looking good.
Yes, so there was one area that we were able to recover lost Sabrio, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Shanta really wanted, she says, yes, she hadn't eaten Sabrio mango, eh? So I said, girl, I have some in the fridge. And I forgot to bring it for you. She said, Mama Lou, just keep it in the fridge there, even if it turn in juice. So I didn't mind if the 4 mangoes turn juice when she comes. She see Mama Lou kept her word.
Right.
Because I like my word to be good, eh?
Yes. Well, it's good to have your word is trustworthy.
I don't like to make empty promises at all. If I tell you something, that I'm going to do something for you, my word is good. So I didn't want to spoil it for some Sabrio mango, boy.
At all.
So when I see fresh mango right off the press, man.
And I like how you preempt things, eh? I mean, I talk in here about shrimp cocktail as I used to have it a long time in the carcass.
Yeah.
And here you are already
Proactive,
man.
Yeah, man.
That's nice.
Yeah. You keep memories alive, by doing it. So you don't just say, oh gosh, when we were children, I remember we used to do that. When you get an opportunity, you can do it still. Keep the memory alive.
Yeah, another thing, Louise, I thought of this morning. Sally Kumar's daughter, Radha, and her husband, Ken, they brought us some delicious sweets recently.
Oh boy, they were sweet and delicious.
Yeah, they really were. And but that evening I was a little too tired to,
take a picture.
To take a picture and to show a video where we appreciated the gift. So all that's left.
We appreciated it so much that it went down in the stomach in 2 days' time.
So Sally and Radha and Ken, we really appreciated what you brought for us. I'm sorry that I'm late in this, saying thank you. But this empty container goes to prove that what you sent has been really appreciated.
And it consisted of laddu. That's it. And you were so kind in detailing the names of it.
Yes.
She said the yellow wrong ones is laddu. And the barafi was the white one.
I love that's tasty.
Coconut barafi. And there was, oh dear me,
That's
something else, I forget. And plus the gola jamu, which is the big kurma, the fat kurma, like. Yeah. So that was very special. I rather you. And I must say, Sally, you have groomed a beautiful girl, a beautiful daughter. You have really groomed a beautiful daughter. And they often say that the chip don't fall from the block. And I can say that your daughter is a wonderful girl. And thank you, Sally, for that beautiful gift you sent for me. That beautiful blouse. Lance thought I was going to wear it, but I say, listen, man, it's shrimp I cleaning, you know. I got you, Sally, nice, pretty blouse to clean shrimp. That is going to be put aside for a special occasion, Sally. And
of course to all the other wonderful subscribers, right?
yes, of course.
I can't forget Anil Lakan from Lachlan and the Gans.
Yes.
And the young man we met in the beach on Saturday.
Yes, that was a wonderful family, and they were so willing. His wife was so willing. They were parked a little distance from us, and she says, I'm going to go get it for you all. So very kind. And I also, it's a long time I have not called out to Deborah Suraj. Deborah, I hope you're doing well. Our home is still open for you to drop by. It's a long time I have not called out to my dear friend Bimpi, Indra, and you know, so many more that I think about. Patricia Ayong, Lydia, you know, whom that we have not seen, Panta and
Natasha,
Tasha, Dale Tech, and Chrissy, our dear friend. I think he was one of the first ones that I met, is Javed. He was my first son. And prior to that, it's been a long time. Mohammed.
Ashan Mohammed.
Ashan.
Okay.
Ashan, it's so long that I even forgetting your name, boy. But please bear with me. That's just senior moments that sometimes I lose names, even with my own grandchildren. I call them by different ones' names. So it's not a sign that I have forgotten you by not remembering your name. So Ashan, I always fondly remember you calling us every Friday night religiously to see how Papa Lance and I were doing. Appreciate that very much.
Yes.
And you know, one of the things that is very important in a relationship is appreciation. We must never take for granted what someone has done for us. Appreciation is something that as humans, we appreciate when others appreciate us. So, of course, Judy T, how you doing, my dear? Been a long time I haven't spoken to you. I've been pretty busy. Of course, there also Richie Rich, and Richie and his brother. I never fail to hail out to Eddie Manju, our good dear old friend, who is continuing taking care of his wife, lovingly so. I'll also take the opportunity to hail out to Lance, you have to help me too, you know.
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Patricia Beddow, and Beach Bug, and Kalicharan.
Florence
Kalicharan.
Oh yes.
You
Mr.
can help me too, Lancelot.
You will give me a chance and I will help you.
Okay, sorry.
You have Robert, Mr. Blake.
Right.
Mr. Blake from the States. We have Laura Nicholas, I think it is, yes. And we have the Jagasa girl, Melissa Jagasa.
Yeah. And Shivani.
Yes, Shivani.
Shivani, my dear. Hope to see you soon sometime, you and your dear husband.
Mm-hmm.
And we think of Carl and
Arlene.
Arlene.
Mm-hmm.
And not forgetting
Wendy Hiralal. Remember
Right.
Wendy Hiralal?
yeah, Sidoni and Gary.
Yes. We have wonderful, wonderful help. Because every comment we read, every comment we see, we appreciate that you all have been helping us.
Yeah.
Some in between we get some.
Anil and Naveen.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Anil and Navin,
Yeah.
of course.
And little Stephen, all the way in Cedros.
Yes.
And not forgetting my wonderful family down in the Carcass. The Bisoon family and the Rajkumar family.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cozier family, of course. Vicky Maraj.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But I was saying, Louise, we are fortunate that our videos are not intended to disrupt, to condemn, but to help.
Yes, of course.
And we
What that should do in there. Okay, so now I am finished this process of cutting the back of the bigger shrimp. I will leave the smaller ones. Can't do all one time.
okay.
So this is more or less finished. And now let me see what's happening there. I have to make my little cocktail for Lancy.
Right. But as I was saying, Louise, we appreciate the support. And even if there's a negative comment comes up, it doesn't trouble us. It doesn't trouble us in the least because people are entitled to opinions. Once it's constructive, once a comment can be constructive, well, it can be accepted. If it is just a comment not meant to be kind, without any basis, no foundation for it, well, we have to leave it. We leave it alone. So we're going on now to some shrimp cocktail. I see Mama Lou is all busy here. Okay, let's see the process by which you're doing this thing. Okay, you give it a little swizzle. But isn't it too baked?
What do you mean baked?
Baked.
What do you mean by
Dry.
baked? Good daddy, you going in a sauce?
Okay.
Oh, you ready? You sit down and Yeah, it has guarded its own liquid.
Ready?
I put a little too much salt, boy.
Too much salt.
And we'll let it wash it out. I must have put salt and put salt again.
Perhaps.
Well, of course, when you put the sauce, taste that now.
The third one.
This is some lime and pepper with some garlic and so. I'm doing it just the way we did it as kids. Whatever.
Who should do it? Daddy should do it for you?
No, we should do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Remember, we stitching some,
Hide and do.
Should we put a little soy sauce?
Done with love?
Of course, you know you have to put in that little cup full of love. Some nice fresh lime. So then, Lancy, you sit and I will give this to you and we will sit and sip and chat.
You go back to where you were sitting because it's easier for me to sit here.
Okay, tell me.
Come again, come again.
And the shrimp and go in there.
I was going to say the shrimp tasting really good. One for salad, right?
Yeah. We just handle after.
We could share one and all in the meantime.
No. Have enough to make one for lasagna.
Okay.
So this one is yours. If you need more pepper.
No, this is good.
Yeah.
I got a spoon, thank you.
Okay.
Very good, man. I'm going to sample this thing. And then I'll focus upon you. Folks, thank you very much. Done by Mama Lou. Delicious.
It's good?
Well done, Mom. Well done.
Just as mine used to allow us to make it.
Well, my mother never made this for me. Let's see you now. Take it down. You spoon it too big. You're going to finish it too fast, man.
Just as it was when we were kids. Remember, we didn't have to take too many, eh? Because we don't want to be found out.
Look. Try this, otherwise you're going to finish that thing in a jiffy.
We don't want to be found out. Nice fresh lemon flavor.
And the shrimp is fresh, eh? It tastes really good.
Good fresh shrimp. You know, one of the ways my nephew Neil, he brought the shrimp in a bucket, an ice cream pail. The cover, it was frozen. You must have put some water into it. And you say, Auntie, just keep it in the deep freeze until you're ready to clean it. And it'll be like fresh shrimp.
Right.
And I tell you the truth, it really works.
It works, huh?
Yeah. He broke off the heads. So all I had to do was take off the shells and then cut the back.
So you got it kind of ready-made. You didn't cast the net. You didn't stay up late into the night, early into the morning.
Big shrimp. Oh yeah, but I started saying that when you went on the beach, heap of shrimp. So picking shrimp simply meant separating the shrimp from the small fish, and you sometimes got sigget crab, which is sea crab. Of course, Southwestern Adventure, Neil, my nephew, he would have done things on shrimp, picking shrimps and so. So if you go on his channels, Southwestern Adventure,
Southwest Adventures.
Southwest Adventure, you will see his channel a lot of things that you do in the carcass, reminiscent of the old days. Continue to keep it alive, catching crab, going fishing. The only thing I don't know if he ever did that, and if it still has, is catching, dig chip. The dig chip.
Maybe there's very little chip left.
Holiday time, July, August, man, that was when the chip will be a lot in season. And we used to make chip cocktail too.
Really?
When you clean that chip, that's a lot of work, you know. You had to have a little reward, man.
Remember when we lived in St. Anne's? We had gone to Manzanilla.
Yes.
Gather some chip. What happened when we came home? We boiled it.
We boil it and clean it one time.
And it was pretty good, eh?
Yeah, we're all good.
But if you don't clean it good, you end up with a lot of sand in it.
Yeah.
What's the process?
You have to wash it. Well, first you go and you dig the chip. You use a spoon, and everywhere you see the little holes, it means it have chip in there.
Right.
So sometimes you start to scrape like that. And while you're scraping, chip popping up. But they say like in Manzanilla, you go and you take a shovel and a strainer, and 2 shovels and your strainer full in.
So Manzanilla has more chip than the other?
Manzanilla, you always heard about how much chip you get in Manzanilla. Well, in the carcass, we didn't know the shovel, but you carry a spoon.
You say you didn't have a shovel?
No, we didn't have that process. We never heard about that. And you scrape, right? And your chip just popping up. And I remember my mother didn't like us to bathe in the sea too much. So we will go home wet. And when she said, "But how y'all come back so wet?" We said the chip was in the sea. So Mama Lou always had a weakness to being in the ocean. So what do you think about this?
I think it's an excellent thing. I think what you should do is fill my glass again.
Well then, Mr. Sana ain't gonna get none.
No, we can't do that.
Because I sneak out as though I was a child, you know. I didn't go big, you know. I just take out a few.
No, talking about child stage. I remember going to the carcass and you seeing different bonfires along the, you seeing all the different areas where flambeau.
Excuse me, let me just.
Where flambeau was on the beach, right?
Oh yes, but everybody had a flambeau too.
Was there any kind of jealousy between fishermen about who catching more than who?
Well, I can't say that I was aware of it because I might have been too young to understand. I don't even know that the word of jealousy was known too much.
Tell me.
You know, like jealousy is a word that you hear now readily and easily. That sometimes you hear people talk about their own children jealous.
Their what?
Their own children jealous one another. But I can't say that I know about that. In our family growing up. I don't know that we jealous and felt different to one another. But I have heard later on in life about people whose parents preferred the fair-skinned children or the child with the better hair and things like that. And that was quite amazing to me that these things exist. We for ourselves, I don't know that you had preferences with the fairer child and the darker child and the child with the straight hair. I don't know that we knew that. But from reports of other families, you realize that's not a fable and it's real. Yeah. So to say that, to answer your question about jealousy, if there were like competition or jealousy, I really don't know. But looking back and knowing now how people feel about not being happy for people who do well, and you hear the word things like envious and jealousy and so, right? As I say, those were words I never knew as a child.
Never existed in your family.
Never existed in family, and I don't even know that I was conscious growing up. I mean, I spent 15 years of my life in Icacos, and I don't know that we were favored above the other children. I mean, the ratio was Africans and Indians, and we were probably the only mixed children, and I can't say that you ever experienced anything.
And you didn't flaunt yourselves.
Oh, you didn't think, you did. I don't even know you actually knew that you were different and that you were fair skinned and
it didn't exist.
No.
No one.
And neither did anybody treat us that way, because I remember when my mother died, you know, for 1 week, the neighbors brought breakfast, lunch, and dinner for us. Because I think the tradition of Hindus were, you don't cook, I don't know, but we were not Hindus, but they provided us with meals. We didn't have to cook for like 1 week straight.
There's a oneness running throughout the village.
Yeah. So when I hear people talk about racialism or racist something, I never experienced it. Even in my travels, in our travels, I have never felt swamped by different people. You know, we go to states that were most white people, like Colorado. While there, I never saw an African person. When we went to North Carolina.
But there are people of
There
course.
are, yes.
Yeah.
But I never felt in any way, being among Caucasian people, I never felt that I was different, or I was less, or I was better.
So you didn't have a foundation of fear or anything like that?
No.
So you just went into it. But if you were living abroad,
And had experienced it.
you probably would come up with,
Right.
you know.
But you see, I really believe that your background, your foundation, that how you were brought up. And I was talking to a friend recently who lived in the States for many years. And he is a boy from one of the boys of Rio Clap.
Deep South.
Deep South. And he never felt in any way intimidated. Because I was talking to him, and you know, he said he believed in treating people equally, and he was there in his job for a purpose, and that was what was important. It didn't matter whether you're white, black, Chinese,
Green,
African.
yellow, what?
Yeah. His job is to make you what he was intended to make, what his job was intended for. And it had nothing to do with favoring this one above the other.
So let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit about jealousy in the home, right? You know, you tend to think that children are small and they will grow out of things, right?
Yes.
But it has been said that if a child shows a tendency to be highly jealous, right?
They'll show it from small.
And yes, and if the child doesn't learn how to be, you know, to deal with this jealousy, it will extend into adulthood.
Yeah, because it is a feeling, you know.
It will extend into adulthood. You find that the father might be, it would be wrong. But okay, let's take us for instance. I don't believe that we ever showed any of our children,
Favoritism.
4 children, right, that we love this one above the other.
Yeah, you didn't love this one, as I say, for this reason or for the next, or you're doing well in school, you're doing better than this one, you compare them. No, we never had that.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think that our children could be friends with one another. Because when you, as a parent, openly show, I favor Jane to Mary, Mary will naturally be jealous of Jane, because what makes Jane so special to win the heart of my mother, and I don't have it. I'm not getting what I'm seeing Jane is getting. But what I would say is that your children, you love all your children, and you try to be very neutral in your dealings. What you'll do for one, you'll do for the other. And I think a mother was asked once, who is your favorite child? And what was the answer? The child who is in need at the moment.
No.
You know who is that person?
No, tell me.
Wasn't it your mother?
I was in need then. I'm still in need, mother. Mother, can I call on you, mother?
Yeah, and I agree with that theory, because today for Tom, tomorrow for Mary, next day for Jane. And what I did for Tom, I must be willing to do for Jane, and I must be willing to do for Mary.
Well, you know, they say, excuse me, Louise, I am thinking of what crosses over from child to adult. That period of jealousy that might cross over from a child's perception. No, not the age. The misgiving that the child has, and if it is not corrected and held by parents, right? You find that in adult life,
definitely,
right,
you would not like each other.
The child might be insecure as a child. It hasn't been corrected. It hasn't been challenged. It hasn't been taken care of.
It just went
mentally
by as though nothing happened.
Right, and that is, as somebody expressed it, it is perfect ground for a lot of disorders that might come up mentally. That is right.
Yeah.
You know, the hatred, the bitterness,
anger,
the resentment,
anger.
Right. So children have a tendency to feel that they will be displaced. So parents need to really check that, because I am concerned now at the age of 74, going on 75. I am not worried about the kid who throws a tantrum. I am concerned about this aspect crossing over into adulthood, because there are some adults who tend to be aggressive, resentful, may choose one parent over the next because something happened back in childhood.
Yeah.
That wasn't checked, right?
Yeah.
Now, children tend to gravitate a lot to mothers.
Yeah.
They gravitate to mothers. They kind of shrink from going to father because father is a little tough guy, and he's a little abrasive in his comments, and he's sharp.
Yeah. But Lancy, there are children, I don't know if it would be correct to say that girls favor their father and boys their mother. I don't know if it's a chemistry or what, but boys for their mother and girls for their father, right? And I have heard also, whether it is vice versa or not altogether that way, I've heard people say that their father, they dealt better with their father than their mother. The mother is the disciplinarian, and in some cases the father is the disciplinarian. And seemingly, the disciplinarian will never be liked as much as the non-disciplinarian.
Well, especially if there's indiscretion in dealing with the child, right?
Yes, because sometimes one can be too harsh. Some fathers beat your children long ago. Now you can't beat children. But long ago, fathers beat their children mercilessly. And there are some mothers who the fathers don't beat, and the mother was the one who did the correction. So it give and take. of who you would like and who you favor.
Right.
But what I would say is that parents have a great responsibility to nurturing their children. Nurturing your children doesn't only mean food on the table, a lift to go to school, and plenty material things. Anything you want, you could get it. That is not sufficient. But communicating with your child, making you feel your child feel secure and safe when they talk to you,
Yeah.
that you don't fly off your handle, and it has to be seen my way. You have to be your child's friend. And if you are your child's friend from very small, that your child can trust you, trust your judgment. When they go to secondary school, whatever they encounter, they will feel safe to talk to you about.
Yeah, but it's important to have that
Yeah.
listening
You have
there.
to have that connection with your children. Sometimes your child may tell you something that you'll be like, what? But you have to keep a poker face. Because from the time you react, what? The child,
Receipts.
you are ready for what I'm going to tell you.
Definitely.
You are ready yet, mommy. So you have to be open-minded, especially now, bringing up children now. I mean, we brought up children, our children are in the 50s and the 40s. So we brought up children 50 years ago, 40 years ago, because Lyndon is now 40, right? And I tell you that although Lyndon came 7 years after the 3 children, he was different. Different in that we knew our first 3 children always take breakfast in the morning before they go to school. As a matter of fact, Lasana would eat food in the morning. Heavy food he having for breakfast, 6 o'clock in the morning. And Lyndon, when Lyndon came around, Lyndon wanted no breakfast. And that was, to me, unheard of, because we were brought up to know you must have breakfast before you go to school. And our first 3 children always had breakfast before they went to school. So 7 years later, a new dimension altogether. No breakfast, sweet drink in the morning, right? When we knew you must drink something hot and you must have a sandwich. So, and this is 40 years ago when that change came. And because I knew that Lyndon operated in a different lifestyle to the other children, it was very easy when I heard that my grandchildren do eat breakfast, or they have breakfast very late.
You weren't disturbed in any way.
I was not disturbed, that I was able to see. And Lyndon, once I was fussing about Zach not having breakfast, and he said, when Zach hungry, he will come to eat. Mommy, don't fuss about it, because he knew that's how he operated. So parents sometimes have to shift a little bit with small things. There are some things you have to keep your values and your boundaries, and to know what is not allowed. But if what they're doing or saying is not very detrimental or offensive, you have to let them be who they are.
That's what they're encouraging growth.
And that is where they will trust you, that they would know your values. But you must never be viewed by your child as, wow, my parents, oh my gosh, they are so strict. One time, we can't go to our parents. They're too strict to talk to them.
That's right,
You know? And now, if we grow up in a very strict family, we will feel that this is the way I was brought up, and I'm proud to be who I am. So you will get exactly what I grew up, how I grew up. You know?
Which treats the child, of course, of, becoming a responsible, mature citizen.
Yeah. Because a child, there will be time a child will, remember you're going to school, you are on with peer pressure. Your child must be able to, for themselves, to know, no, that's not allowed. I can't do that. You know? So, and I probably have gone off probably what you really want to talk about.
No. You covered it nicely.
You know?
You covered
So,
it. I'm concerned about the child. Okay, children grow in a certain way. They have certain tantrums. They have certain jealousies. They have certain behavior. As they grow older, you expect that they would be, of course,
yeah.
channeling, right?
Right.
I am concerned about the adult behavior
Right.
that
No.
manifests the same child.
Yes.
So they haven't gotten away from it.
Yeah. Well, what I would like to say about that is you cannot beat a child into being what you want them to be. Because it's as bad as beating them into wanting them to do it right is as bad as don't doing anything about it. Just let it ride, let it slide. The child will change. That will pass, you know. To be overly beating a child into this is how it has to be done. This is how it has to be done. No. You have
You're
to
talking
teach.
about mentally beating a child, Because
Yes.
you know these days physical.
Yes, mentally beating a child, like, you know, forever correcting them. That's not the way to operate. You don't do that. You need to look out for your brother. You need to look out for your sister. Now, do you know something? When you teach by example, a child will know. I never see my mother do that, you know. I never hear my mother bad talking to anybody. I never see my mother cursing. Right? And so
what about daddy?
teach by example. Same thing.
Okay.
Although, unfortunately, a father might never drink, never smoke, and his child will do it. You can't say you didn't taught by example. But at the end of the day, as a parent, you would know, I did my best. You know? By being an example. You by example. Because I could only draw example from how I was brought up. I always say, we lost our parents, and as brothers and sisters, we dwell together in one house, and we had to learn to live with each other. And nobody was ever jealous of anybody.
I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, when jealousy is among siblings, especially as adults, it's terrible.
It's going to pass on.
It's
You're
terrible.
going to pass on and do the very same thing with your children. So we as siblings never had competition. One child passed for common entrance, the other one didn't pass. It never felt, well, I the black sheep. Right? So there was never competition, and when there is no competition, there is no jealousy. But a family that competes, this child want to do, you pass for first choice school, I have to pass for university. You know, and I don't know.
You know that expression you just used there about the black sheep? Even that today is
Still exists.
not only that, it's an offensive expression, you know.
Yeah, because why black?
Yeah, why black, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, the show Salt and Pepper with Sammy Davis.
Yeah.
He with the Rat Pack, and they ended up before the judge. I think it's Salt and Pepper is the name. And the judge said,
Black pepper.
no, wait, don't rush it. Sammy Davis is before the judge, you see? Because the other guys are white and they all room together. And the judge was dealing with everyone individually. And when he came to Sammy Davis, he said, oh, you're the black sheep of the family. And Sammy Davis said, and it was a good message,
Yeah.
Hey, don't get racist. Don't get racist, man. Don't get racist.
Exactly.
So, you know,
Exactly.
some things are not, some things we need to be watchful about, you know?
Yeah, look at this mango orange here.
Oh, yes. Shall we eat it?
No, that's for Santa Anthony.
Anthony, yeah. Well, I won't be jealous.
You
of
know
it.
that.
I won't be jealous.
You won't be jealous of that because you marry me knowing I guess give away the best.
Yeah.
We were brought up that when you're giving somebody something, you give them the best. And no matter how little you have, you share.
Mm.
And by example, you know, nobody never had a lecture on these things, you know.
No.
You existed, you get a paradise plum, give your brother peace.
Because you enjoyed it and you wanted to share your joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's
So,
great.
so teaching my example and really comparing kids that is something that we never did at home.
I was checking on the meaning of jealousy, and I think I will close at this point, right? Jealousy, they say, is envious of another's success. And as you were rightly saying, you're never jealous of anybody. You were never envious of anybody's success. You're protective of your possessions. But what you had belonged to everybody,
Yes.
right? For instance, your kindness and I can't be jealous of your kindness. I can't be jealous of your concern for others, your willingness to just reach out and help others. That would be us.
You suppress me, I'll burst at the seams, man.
Right. Now the synonyms for jealousy is being covetous, resentful, green with envy. You know, this is a long time, beware of the green-eyed monster. That's when you're really green, you're envious and jealous badly, right? And it also means distrustful, possessive, overprotective, bitter, and again, all these are part of the green-eyed monster, right? The only thing green around here that we love
is that juice you in.
What? So Louise, I want to tell you, thank you very much for
Yes.
you know the shrimp, a lesson of shrimp, and you know, thank you very much for this. You've been a good girl.
Yes.
You've always been a good wife, a good friend.
And I will say, teach your children by example and love. And show love to all, even to the one who might be troublesome.
That's right. It's a tough journey, but it can work. And God is there to help. That's
Of
the
course,
important
in
thing,
all
right?
things,
Yeah.
He make it all things possible.
So we're gonna have a mango when I close this off. And
Yes, of course. I'll just iron which one, and each one I say that look too nice. That is for Tony.
And
It's
for
for
all our
Chantal.
friends
And
abroad.
all our friends, I wish I can share with you all because I know we will get some more.
Yes.
So thank you all for being there. Bye-bye.